Hello and welcome to another episode of Gwent Competitive Play. Again, I am joined by Swim for this matchup. How are you doing today, Swim?
I'm great, HGT. Thanks for having me.
And we just watched a match where Doduo playing Northern Realms dropped the Square Hotel, which was previously thought to be, by some players, a favorable matchup for Northern Realms. And this time we'll see what he can do as he tries to resolve a tougher hand. And it looks like he'll end up with 2 Reaver Scouts in hand, which is not the end of the world. No Blue Stripe Scouts, and a couple answers to some round 1 shenanigans from Squaretel, as it's the same matchup.
Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this hand. He doesn't have either Yennefer or Baron to demote going off the bat. He's going to have to try to draw one with Stennis late into the round, perhaps. And he's got 2 Reaver Scouts, which is definitely a little awkward.
Yeah, but on the flip side, he does have the first light available, so if the Aramessi pops out, very convenient timing again, he'll have a way to deal with it. But actually, no way to deal with the early Roach here. And this is one of the issues with this Northern Realms deck. They don't really run Mardrums typically. And as such, Roach can start building value early on in the game.
Yeah, it's way too hard for them to fit in Mardrums into their list. Because Bronze Spells just kind of cripple Full Test and Reaver Scouts so much.
Yeah, if you draw them late game, it's just drawing into air basically. And
King of Beggars too.
Yeah, so stuff like that can definitely hinder your efforts late on in the match. But we do now see the first light will come out to counter the Aramessi, which was timed well, and the Mardrums will start ticking up on Roach. So Roach already starting to get a little beefy here as the chain comes out. This will be a decent burst of strength.
It does look like the Squirtle player does not have Aglaeus in the opening hand, because I think it's very proper in that situation to use Aglaeus for a second round to really shut out round 1. I mean, the Redanian elites, the demoted Baron or Yennefer that you expect to come down, they really provide a lot of value, and it's really easy to get a shutout if you can get a rain to stick on the board.
Yeah, and it looks like Northern Realms will take the route of denying Elven Mercs as early as he can. But the second Merc is there, and the third Merc is here, but again he stacks them on the same row. Lacerate shows for Skoya, and has he fallen for the trap? Is the chain here? Will Priscilla show us the chain, or will he not even go for it?
Huh. Yeah, that's a little unusual. I'm not sure why the Squirtle player keeps stacking the row like that. I mean, when you're playing mercenaries, you just want to keep them on a different row.
I was hoping
even if you're trying to stack rows for purposes such as avoiding weathers or to set up a hawk or healer, you really should keep your mercs on a different row entirely, because you're going to be able to choose where you want them every turn anyway with Blue Mountain Commando, and it just makes them more vulnerable to lacerate to stack them while you're chaining.
Ooh, and the answer to the Merc shows up in the form of Merc Tabraki here. So he's down to 0 Mercs left in the deck, but he has gone through a fair bit of his deck. It would be nice to see, eventually a spectator will see how many cards are in his deck, but right now, we'll just be left to speculate. I think he's been through probably 6 or 7 cards, and the quick hover's there, but I didn't catch it.
So the thing about denying mercs is when you try to shut down the merc as a strategy, what you're really doing, what you're really shutting down is the Blue Mountain Commando. You kill the merc so that the Blue Mountain Commando has no good flip target. Right now, Squirtle, Rothad, has played 1 Blue Mountain Commando, there's another one, and he's successfully shut down that Blue Mountain Commando, forcing it into being a 7-strength bronze, which is really just not what you want to see in a bronze.
And a nice draw there. Because the Reaver Scouts are in the graveyard, so the rally is going to be available on the Kedweni. This is a huge play with Baron available for Dodu right now.
Oh yeah, wow. That is really not. Well, that's one of the problems with Lacerating Reaver Scouts early. It's very weak to many situations such as this.
Yeah, an active graveyard is always going to play in favor of NR whenever you give it to them, whether it's round 1 or round 2. And there's the easy break, and this is just in stride. No opportunity for Rothad to try and deny anything. Maybe we'll see some Mardrums come out to try and lower the value of him, but he's already invested 2 in Roach, I believe, so probably unlikely. And he's just going to have to deal with a Bloody Baron coming out of the grave for the rest of this game.
Yeah, this round has really played in NR's favor. I mean, they went in with a bad hand, probably an unfavored hand, but the Lacerate coming down to enable the demote and the Baron being drawn really just clinched it for NR, I think.
So, how are things?
Yeah, and I agree with that. Ooh! Oh, goodness. King of Beggars showing his value here as he just whips out the Hawker Healer, and that's going to steal the round. So again, Scarletel showing that they're not afraid of going down one card to win round one. And we, of course, have seen both disloyal units played, and we haven't seen decoys played by either side yet. But the only player with access to card advantage right now in terms of disloyal unit is going to be NR with the Yavin in the Grave. It looks like he's just going to have to open Shani here. Not an opportunity given to decoy
I'm a medic.
out the Lubberkin or anything in round one. So he's going to have to chain here.
Yeah, that's an interesting. It's very disciplined to kind of realize he has to use that early and bank on getting Neneki.
He could go for the field medics and hope for the best. He has a pretty live Grave. But if he chains into a Merktabraka hero, it would be kind... Oh my goodness. Mercy on your soul.
There's the Neneki.
Oh, into Naneka too. What a random res to pull Yavin out of that Grave. Out of all the targets, he has to be number one.
That is gigantic. Yeah. So this Neneki, it provides him many options. I mean, this is what he was looking for by playing Shami. It gives him the potential for a one-card strong play on round 3. It gives him the potential for a good decoy target if he wants it. His play here might be to Neneki to put more power on the board and then decoy it to take it into round 3.
Yeah, I think he has to take this Lubberkin back first, and now he has Yennefer active too, if he needs it. So he has a pretty wide open hand right now. As Milva will come out and of little consequence there. I think losing the 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the problems when you approach too much. That can happen.
Yeah, that 50-50 got away from him, and it's gonna pass here. So an opportunity to maybe use Geralt to win this. Better off using Geralt than a res, perhaps.
Yeah, I would definitely use Geralt here.
I think going into round 3, it's close.
The Roach does represent,
Let's get this over
13 strength probably, because it's going to come down before the Yennefer, right? So when paired with, when combined with any row, the Eorveth, the row, the Ciri Dash row, if Roach goes into any occupied row, that's a very powerful Igni, but it is risky. And I think NR is in a dominant position in this state, and I think taking risks is fundamentally weak when you're in a dominant position, so I agree with his play there.
Yeah, I think it's fine too, because he knows that King of Beggars is going to be super active here with 2 field medics. Priscilla's active if he needs her. He can use the Reaver Scouts, so his graveyard is looking great.
Yeah.
Just the way this panned out.
Very good shape.
And it's actually kind of astonishing to have that many bronze cards left in your deck round 3 as Northern Realms. It just opens up every possibility as Yennefer gets slammed down here for a big value trade.
I might be mistaken, but it looks like the Johnny just pulled a card from Northern Realms Bowl.
How about a game of Gwent?
Ooh. You're right, and it is Priscilla, but what can he pull out of his deck here? We've already seen Aramancy played, maybe Decoy for a second opportunity at it, but without Yavin or Aramancy, are there going to be any non-gold answers here? And it is going to be Decoy. He'll try it again.
That's nice. It's good stall. Gives him another opportunity. Gives him card advantage. But that's a really, really tough score to beat. I mean, Frost will do a lot of damage here, especially since the Roach landed on a good row. But it's just not going to be that much. I mean, it's something in the range of 15, I think. Was it 14?
Yeah, 14, I think. But the real concern is there's 13 gold strings. So we know that Priscilla's the last card in hand. Having to dig through your deck with almost all your specials played already. Try and find an answer here. I'm not sure there's going to be much left unless he's running a Lacerate that we haven't seen. There's a possibility, but still, the rows aren't too thick anymore. And it looks like Doduo is going to check his grave a couple of times to make sure he's resing the right target with Neneka. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's a Reaver Scout onto this field medic.
Nasty wounds.
Or Priscilla are both fine, but I think the Reaver Scout's a little better.
But we're broke as shit peddlers.
Because he's 3 strength.
What do you want of me?
There's the other 3 strengths.
There's Priscilla anyway, so she'll join the fray. This board is looking devastating.
Yeah, that looks like it. I mean, a Lacerate would be 12 points, but it's just not enough.
Don't make me laugh.
And it's a broken dash. That could have snuck up on him if it were a different situation, but the live bronze cards pulled through for Northern Realms in the end, and he's going to win this game rather decisively. So We end up seeing 2 games as Northern Realms versus Scoia'tael and a 50-50 split, which is what you say the win rate is likely between the two factions. Any closing thoughts on the game?
That round 1 was really, really key there. Being able to draw the Baron and then having the Lacerate come down to be able to chain out the Reaver Scout onto the Kid Wenny Sergeant to demote the Baron just put him in a dominant position from potentially a very weak one, depending on what the opponent's hand was.
Yeah, and if you compare the application of the Lacerate in both games we've watched, if you guys haven't watched the first VOD, another good matchup. The Lacerate on a pass in Northern Realms, so much better, so much less risk involved than the Lacerate on a live board.
That's one of the major reasons it's very important as Scoia'tael to have Lacerate in your opening hand, so that you can control when you use it.
Very true. And we want to thank Do for these VODs. Very grateful. It was a fun match to watch, and thank you for joining me again, Swim. Can you tell the people where they can find you?
They can find me at twitch.tv/swimstream. I currently stream something along the lines of 4 days a week, not committing as of right now to a fixed schedule, but that's liable to change in the immediate future.
And I'm HG3 from Gwent City. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, sorry, we'll try and get you next time. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace out.